Feng Shui and Chinese astrology master, and he joins us from London. Richard Ashworth, good to speak with you. So tell us, what do we need to know about the year of the ox?
Well, the ox is a symbol of fertility, also a symbol of stuckness and blockages and those kinds of things. You might think of the ox as being Mother Earth. So you have a situation where every ox has those qualities. So in terms of fertility, we're probably approaching a lockdown generation of babies born during lockdowns all over the world. In terms of blockages, we can expect this year long queues for things, difficulties with traffic and cargo, but also the Earth responding to the abuse it's taken over the last many years. So we can expect things like landfalls, avalanches, sinkholes, those kinds of things. But in terms of the political world, we have some very interesting things, because the orthodox thing to do in Chinese astrology is to look back at previous ox years to give you an indication. So if we go to the previous ox year, which is 2008, we have financial chaos. If we go back to previous metal ox year, if we go back to previous metal ox years, 1901 was the year Queen Victoria died and the year that President McKinley was assassinated in the USA. So we have changes of regime. If we go back to 1841, which will give us a kind of an indication, we have the year that the British seized Hong Kong. So you have some kind of a parallel perhaps there with the Chinese taking back Hong Kong, almost exactly 180 years, January 1841. You also have the beginning of the Opium Wars in South China Sea. So these parallels don't want to be taken too literally, but the China expanding and expressing a certain kind of aggression is likely. Similarly, in the USA, you have the beginning of the Mexican Wars in 1840. So you have action around the Texas-Mexico border. So some very interesting things there. If you go back even further, the one that's perhaps the most interesting, you'll notice that people have been talking about we're facing worldwide the worst recession for 300 years. I think few people actually have thought, now, what do we mean by 300 years? Well, by 300 years, we mean the year 1721, which is following on what was called the South Sea Bubble, which was the first big market collapse when every major investor in the world lost their shirt. So 1721 is a parallel, also being a metal ox, also being similar in terms of other Chinese cycles to this year. And we also have it's about a new world order, things beginning, regimes changing, those kinds of things. The ox being about blockages, reactions to blockages, and so on.
I mean, fascinating insight. Sorry, Richard, I have to get in here because we don't have much time, and I do want to try and get on to my next question. A fascinating insight and a fascinating look at the sort of the parallels in history. But I wonder, a lot of that, what you said, was kind of bad news. It's made me feel bad about 2021. Have you got any positives that we can take out of the year of the ox that make us all feel better? You know, we've all been stuck in our house for 9 months.
Positive things, yes. I think this strange time out we've all been taking gives the Earth a chance to recover. I think in certain senses, businesses will get an opportunity to rethink that they work. This is a metal ox, so one of the things that that might imply, for instance, is a bright future for cryptocurrencies, and a major change in the way that people invest and in the way that people look at investing, perhaps looking at longer term rather than shorter term returns. Good news specifically, there are, for certain world rulers like Vladimir Putin, for instance, and Boris Johnson, there are chances that they might actually regain the ground that they've lost over the last year. What's also the case is in the USA, it's very much a time of change. So it's a time when the USA leads the world in terms of green recovery and those kinds of things. Again, the ox is about the earth and those kinds of things. So this year is a year when the earth recovers, which is pretty good news, I'd say.
I'm definitely into that, Richard. I'll take that idea of renewal and the earth recovering and forget about all those wars and pestilence that you tried to mention as well. Richard Ashworth, Chinese astrology master, thank you for being with us.